Waugh here, President and CEO of PACLOCK Company, coming at you with another PAC-PREZ video series. Today we're going to compare PACLOCK against Allegion's Schlage branded padlocks. I've actually got two today. I've got a Kryptonite KS72 and then I've got a KS43. Now the KS72 is their hardened steel key and knob style padlock, whereas the KS43 is brass bodied and works with their full-size interchangeable core. Both of these padlocks retail in the mid to high 60s, whereas a PACLOCK, you're in the 40s. $20 less expensive, but I'm here to show you these PACLOCks are a better value than what you can get from Schlage. Okay, one more quick snippet before I get to the padlocks fully disassembled. As I was unlocking the shackle so that I could remove the cylinder retaining screw, I noticed that the screw is slotted, and that's the worst. It's the worst because you can strip this so easily, and if this gets stripped, you can't take the padlock apart. At PACLOCK, we realize this. Our padlocks used to use Phillips head on a lot of our screws, but now we've moved to hex head on as much as we possibly could, especially on the cylinder retaining screws. Those have to be hex head. It's almost impossible to strip hex head. In those areas where we can't fit kind of that taller hex head, we'll go with a Phillips head, but you'll never see a slotted screw head like this from PACLOCK. So what I'm going to do is cut to where I've got the padlocks disassembled, and we'll start looking at the components. Okay, now I have the padlocks disassembled. On the right side, you'll see the KS43. On the left side, the KS72. And then in the middle, we have our KIK 900 from PACLOCK and our FSIC 2B, which would be the equivalent padlocks to what you're seeing from Schlage. Now, there's really two things you're looking for when you talk about quality of the components inside a padlock. First is the durability, and second is just the function, how well they were made or how well they were designed. The first thing I want to point out that really disappointed me on this KS43 was the small cylinder retaining screw. I'll do my best so that we can get the camera to focus in on it here, but as you can see, it's a slotted type screw. And the problem with slotted type screws is they are prone to being stripped. In fact, when I was taking this padlock apart, I got very nervous. I thought I had it stripped already because that screw was pretty tight in the padlock. Fortunately, I was able to get it out. Otherwise, I would have had to drill out the screw from within the padlock, which would likely damage the padlock as well. So I would like to point out with PACLOCK, that's the reason everywhere we can, we use more of a socket cap screw. Far stronger, much less likely to be stripped. Okay, the second thing you're looking for with components is the durability. Ideally, every component should be made of either brass or stainless steel. And with PACLOCK, about 4 or 5 years ago, we decided that it was time for us to change everything as much to stainless steel and to brass as we possibly could. And so everything inside a PACLOCK is brass or stainless steel on our LFIC product line, our FSIC product line, our KIK product line. Really the only place you're going to find steel would be on our standard rekeyable product line, where you've got the security nut and a cover plate. Inside the padlock though, all of these components are stainless steel. And then what we're going to use to check is just a simple magnet. Granted, some stainless steels are attracted. For example, if I go and grab the ball bearing, you'll see it attracts the magnet, but it's a very loose attraction. I can almost just knock it off that way. Okay, our shackle retaining screw, made of stainless steel, hardly attracted at all. Same with our cylinder retaining screw, very light attraction. I can just push it off very easily. Okay, now let's go start checking the components on the Schlage. Okay, stainless steel. This is a zinc die-cast part here. Again, a very light attraction on their cover plate. And then let's move to the ball bearings. Whoa. All right, that ball bearing. And that's held on very tight, as you can tell. More than likely made of steel. Let's check the shackle retaining screw. Whoa, okay, you saw that jump. Very strongly attracted. More than likely some sort of plated steel. And then if we check the actuator, not sure about the spring on the actuator itself. It's possible that might be steel as well. If we go and check the KS72, you're going to find the common situations. Well, look at that. Ball bearings are obviously made of steel. All right, but really what caught my eye as I was checking all of their components was their actuator. This actuator is the first actuator I've seen where the body of the actuator is actually made from some sort of steel. You can see how strongly attracted it is. Most of the time, actuators are made more from a brass material. Again, the reason is you don't want this to rust. And when the ball bearings are pushing up against the actuator, as you open and close the shackle, that's going to wear off plating. Now, some might say that you want the actuator to be steel. You want the actuator to be hardened steel. I don't see it. I think it's a liability. If I'm wrong, someone can let me know. But if we're looking at the components and we're looking at what's steel versus stainless steel, once again, PACLOCK comes out head and shoulders above what you're seeing from Schlage. Okay, folks, so I wanted to spend a little more time pointing out some other key differences that I think you'll find interesting between the Schlage KS72 and PACLOCK's Kick 900. Now, both of these padlocks are modeled after the American Lock 700, the idea being, though, that you can put key and knob style cylinders into them. The first difference is that you'll see the PACLOCK is actually a little bit smaller. The PACLOCK is exactly like an American 700, 2.5-inch body width. Schlage, though, in order to get their cylinders to work, they had to make the body larger. So what you're getting from Schlage is a larger body than what everyone is used to with the American Lock 700. The other big difference really comes in with plating and the heat treating and what happens in between those two processes. So what I'm showing you now is you look deep down into the cavities side by side. There's no lighting trick here. There's no magic that I'm doing. Do you see how you can look all the way down deep into the PACLOCK and the light shines almost like a mirror reflection out? Whereas when you look into the Schlage, it's dark, and it's even more apparent when you look down into the shackles. See how you can look deep into the shackle holes on PACLOCK, whereas with the Schlage, it's more challenging? The answer is simple there, and most people don't notice it, but what happens is there's no plating. There's no plating down there. And the reason there's no plating is because when this lock got back from heat treating, what typically that lock will look like is something like this. Here I have a hockey puck that we sent out for heat treating. And then I told the heat treaters not to bead blast it, not to remove off all the scale and the grime. For heat treating, these locks go into an oven that's extremely hot, and that's what causes you to get the case hardening. But what you end up with is soot and scale residue that's on the lock. And if you don't remove all of this, then what ends up happening when you send this lock to plating is the nickel plating can't coat the lock. It can't get in there. And so what you're seeing here, more than likely, is very common from Taiwan and from China. Deep down, that nickel plating isn't being able to hit the metal because of the heat treating residue that's there. And this is going to be a prime place for rust, whether it's inside the body of the padlock where the cylinder is or deep down where the shackles are. That's a big problem. Okay, folks, well, there you have it. Product comparison between Schlage's padlocks that take key and knob and their FSICs and PADLOCK's products. Once again, is it worth it to spend an extra $20 buying a product that has Schlage's name on it, knowing it comes from Taiwan, knowing it doesn't have the same quality components, and that knowing the padlock body itself just doesn't meet up to PACLOCK standards? Save yourself $20. Work with PACLOCK, support a family business, get a great quality product at the same time. If you have any questions or someone feels like I've misrepresented some of the product, please let me know. I'll be happy to correct it. Thank you very much for watching.